let's get to some things here. So in Georgia, right? So we've got now the Fulton County's got to fork up, what is it, 16 mil?
Yeah.
16 million to pay all these people out? Just walk us through that, Sally.
Well, John, as well they should. This whole situation with the Fannie Willis witch hunt and going after people on these RICO charges and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of taxpayer dollars wasted. And I don't know if you watched any of her testimony before the Senate committee, but she's got all these fantastic attorneys. She's got the best and the brightest in the Fulton County DA's office, and yet she had to go out and engage Nathan Wade to help prosecute this case. And that whole thing was all over the place. There were a lot of really good people hurt. Their lives were changed forever throughout this whole process. I think that it's only fair to individuals that they get their money back. Of course, as an officer of the Georgia Republican Party, it took its toll on the Republican Party, but I believe that the Republican Party did do the right thing in standing behind the electors. There was already proven reasons for the electors to do what they did. It was wrong to go after them because what people don't understand is that, during the 2020 debacle, there were cases pending, and that time frame to challenge an election is a very short time frame. And they had to have the electors sign as alternate electors, not fake electors like the media likes to say, but sign as alternate electors in the event the court cases did prevail, and in the event it was proven that President Trump had won the election. Now, the truth of the matter is we'll probably never know who won that election, but it's imperative that we find out the truth about what happened so that it never happens again. And, that being said, John, I am the new appointee to the state election board. I don't know if you recall that. So, those things are going to be coming up, but I think it's only fair and it's only right that the people have their attorney's fees reimbursed when it completely wrecked their lives. I mean, people lost significant portions, lost their retirements, health issues like you would not believe, stress. It was, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, the willful infliction of pain and suffering.
And I agree. And one of the things that has really bothered me about them going after the alternate electors, there was a very well-known CNN commentator, I can't think of his name right now, that actually, but I have the information, in 2020, he called on Pennsylvania Democrats to form an alternate elector slate in case there were controversies and all that. And nobody went after him for encouraging that. And it was wrong. What happened to the alternate electors was totally wrong. And I hope they nail Fannie Willis and her office with having to pay enormous settlements.
You can't make this stuff up, what happened in Georgia. It's so funny to cover it. All right, let's get to the phone lines. We're going to open this up. The Peach Crew wants your calls. By the way, Reagan Box was supposed to be on, but we want her on video. So Reagan, if you're listening, just set your video up for the next time so that we can have you in the box here. Let's get to the phone lines. You can call in 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646. Let's get to Bud in Canton, Georgia. Bud, you're live with the Peach Crew.
Hey, a quick comment about Fulton County, then I got two quick questions for Sally. Or Sally, I'm sorry, I probably didn't say that name right.
It's Sally. It's Sally.
There would be more chance of the sun ramming into Earth or the moon than 38 poll managers not signing their receipts, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Total fraud. Sally, just wondering, congratulations to your new position. Will you be stepping down from your chair position, or do you have to? And with what just came out with that we already knew about with Tulsi Gabbard and Dominion, where they pretty much have all the evidence of what we already know about this machine fraud, how do you think you can affect getting paper ballots with your role on the elections board?
Okay, so the first question, thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate that very much. The second thing is I do not have to step down as first vice chair. I will be staying as first vice chair. There's no rule or law that says that I have to step down. And then I was appointed by our wonderful Lieutenant Governor, Burt Jones. So I always like to thank Burt Jones. I can tell you that election integrity is on the forefront of his mind. And I first met Lieutenant Governor Jones in 2020 when I testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee. So I appreciate his wanting to ensure that we have safe and fair elections. And you mentioned the poll tapes that were not signed. There's a lot going on with that. Part of the issue with that, just so you know, is that those were advanced voting tapes, that there were not zero tapes that were verified. So we don't know, we have no evidence to show what the counters were on when they started receiving ballots at that point in time with those poll tapes. So there's process issues for sure. Not everything is attributable to fraud. Sometimes it's a bad process. Sometimes it is untrained poll workers and that kind of thing. But I would like to say that I do definitely appreciate ours.
Sally?
Yeah, she's
And
Last comment, if I could
everything
make-
that they do for our elections. And then lastly, we are working on the fact that we need hand-marked paper ballots because of the fact that our machines are not certified and there are issues with the machines.
Sally, I have a question. Fulton
Can I
County
make one more
election.
comment?
Fulton
Yeah,
County.
but wait. Bud, go ahead. Then Debbie, you can join in. Go
Okay.
ahead, Bud.
I'm sorry. I was a poll watcher and a pretty damn good one. And the process and training, no.
Yep.
It would be rare for one poll manager not to sign these things. There's no way, Sally. Nothing personal, but I've never met a poll manager that said was not so focused on that closing process. It doesn't matter which election it is. It doesn't matter when. It just doesn't happen. I'm so sorry, but no.
There's
not buying it.
no, okay, remember this is advanced voting, okay? And the process for advanced voting is different from election day. Do you normally work advanced voting or do you normally work on election day voting?
I work everything. Whatever they want me to work, I work. And if those are supposed to be signed, they're supposed to be signed.
The
you
opening
can't tell me
tapes,
that 114
look,
people didn't sign it. Give me a break.
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is that in advanced voting, absolutely, the opening tapes should have been signed. This is getting into the minutia, and I know John is getting very excited over listening to it. But
not minutia, it's fact.
It is. However, when the tabulators are closed out for advanced voting, they are closed out after the fact that they have left the poll. So who is going to have witnessed that? That's part of the process that is wrong. It should have been addressed and it should have been corrected. And that's one of the things that has to be corrected because the chain of custody is broken. We know that. Absolutely, the chain of custody is broken.
And Sally,
they're going to walk this out, though. That's the problem. They're going to walk this out. Fulton County wants to get fined, and they want to get this pathetic letter that's going to say, shame on you. I can't believe you did that. And we are not going to have the opportunity. I guarantee you they probably never talked to any of those poll managers, any of those assistants, or any of those witnesses. They probably didn't talk to whoever would put the tape up on the window. They probably didn't talk to who delivered them to the voting places. And they probably didn't talk to any of the elections officers. This is our opportunity to finally show that this fraud took place, and we're going to blow it. I guarantee it.
But one of the things I would like to say is that Fulton County has had issues for years, since I think 2011, 2012.
Way before that, yeah.
Yeah, way before that. There needs to be, what I think needs to happen in Fulton County is you need to have state oversight. Sally, is there any way that could be done? Because I'm talking about they've been fined. I mean, It had, prior to 2020, it's been laughable. Fulton Election Board didn't become a laughing stock in 2020. They were a laughing stock years and years beyond that.
Well,
And
to your point, Debbie, and Bud, just
yes,
so you know, there was the, we had the Carter Jones report, and then we had the monitoring situation.
yep,
And here's the problem in Georgia is people have been shut down and slapped down so much for so long that they're not going to trust anything in the process. And I'm not saying that they should, but until our public officials, and I'm talking about the bureaucrats too in Fulton County, until they are held accountable for things that they've known about and they've done, people are not going to trust them at all. So, but all I can tell you, as far as Sally Grubbs is concerned, as a state election board appointee and member, I am going to do my best to hold people accountable.
good.
And those reports that were done, I mean, you can talk about the people that were put on these committees to go and do oversight, and then they're political people that have something they owe somebody, or they are owed something, and that's got to stop. We've got to have people that are vested in the process, who are there to make a difference. That's been my mission and my goal since 2020, and I have not deterred from that. Operating in truth and integrity and honesty is the only way that we can gain back any amount of trust to the public. And it's my goal to see that we do obtain trust from the public.
Yeah, I still think, much oversight is needed in Fulton County, especially with us heading into the midterms.
Listen, I lived there
for
for 20 years or so. I can't remember when I moved there, but we were in Roswell, Georgia. Ann and I were married there. We 30 years, I don't even know, but that thing was corrupt back. I think it was corrupt back in the 80s. Right? It's always been corrupt.
Yes.
There's been no change, right? Ever. So it's always been corrupt. The votes always come in the last. You always question everything, even back in the day when there were no machines or anything of that nature. It was still corrupt. All right, thank you, Bud. Thank you. I put Joe's backdrop up there for you because I know you always come and see Joe play, so we appreciate it. They're back to Maryland Baseball Stadium. Put me in a good mood while this debate goes on about ballots in Fulton County. Let's get to thank God I could play with my backdrops here. Let's get to Charles in Roswell, Georgia, my own stomping ground. Charles, you're live.
Yes.
So what's up?
Hey. So I wanted to say that I agreed quite strongly with the young lady who was saying that the Republican on Republican infighting is divisive. And while I'm sure that some good comes out of it, can somebody refresh my memory? Do we see the Democrats doing this?
No.
They do. They march in...
Nope.
I don't want us to be like them, but they march in lockstep.
Yep.
You don't see anything coming out from them. And I remember when Obama was pushing forth his dog breakfast socialist healthcare plan, it didn't matter. They were like World War I soldiers marching through no man's land. They got slaughtered at the ballot box, but it didn't matter because Obama got what he wanted. Republicans don't do that. Republicans seem to be, well, I don't know. I don't want to make anybody mad at me. Or we'll snipe at each other to show that we're holier than thou, completely ignoring Ronald Reagan's rules of the 80-20 rule.
Yep.
And it's got to stop. It's not benefiting us.
You saved the Republican Party. You saved the Republican Party from itself by allowing the option of ranked choice voting in primaries, so nobody can attack anybody, because that's what they do in Iowa. Look, I'm going to Iowa on a bus tour January 25th, Sunday through that Friday. We're going to like 15 counties, okay? That is the example as a living, breathing.
No, that's totally different. That is totally different. No.
It is the living, breathing example of ranked choice voting in a primary, and that's how you're choosing your presidential nominee in the first one.
Get Patty on the phone. Where is Patty?
Patty doesn't get it. She doesn't get this, okay? She doesn't get it. You stop the negative ads by allowing this for the parties that choose it. And I'm telling you right now, if you had ranked choice voting in the primaries in Georgia in this Senate race, Debbie Dooley, your candidate, would win because he's everybody's second
Because he's
choice.
oh my gosh, you just said
No, but I can tell you about negative campaigning. People hate it and all that. It will stop as soon as negative campaigning becomes a negative. It will stop. Negative campaigning works.
What?
It works, and it will stop when it
I
no
can't
longer
process that.
works.
Negative campaigning stops when it stops being negative. Bail
No,
me out
I
here.
mean it stops when it
Charles, jump
stops
in here
working.
and bail me out before I go to another backdrop. Charles, go ahead.
You know what? I
negative
need
for
to
the
start
Republicans.
out every
I
day
can't speak-
laughing. This is
I
great.
can't speak to ranked choice voting. I don't know enough about it, but I would like to say that it shouldn't be necessary for us to institute an overarching change, whether it's good or bad, to have the Republican Party stop acting like toddlers. It shouldn't be necessary. We're going to bring in ranked choice voting and that'll stop all that. It shouldn't be necessary to use that. I'm not saying ranked choice voting good, bad. I'm just saying that to say that, well, that's going to stop it. Well, that's maybe true, but to have to say that is pretty indicative of the state that we're in.
Yes.
Good point.
I agree.
Yeah.
Good point, Charles.
Yep, I agree.
Thank
So
you. I try.
Well, bravo. I agree with you big time. And I just wonder. I mean, Debbie, and this is an honest question. When you do your, let's say expose on candidates and things like that, did the candidates that you back appreciate that? Did they like that?
I don't know. I've never asked. I don't get permission from any campaign to do the negative campaigning I've been doing. I will say that, and I'm doing it. I'm doing this on my own.
Let me ask you something, Debbie. And I love you, but it's not good for the soul, man, to get up every day and try to find dirt on people and put it out there in emails. I mean, it just can't be good for your soul. It can't be good. I don't get up every day. I don't get up every day looking for dirt that I can I said that to Laura Loomer years ago. I'm like, Laura, you're a really nice lady. You're very intelligent. I mean, to get up every day and go on social media and just blast people and, dig up stuff and negative, like, how does that help you? How does that help your soul? How does that help you think of the good things in life? I mean, when you're just involved in this negativity.
Evil.
What?
I consider it exposing wrong and evil. And this is the thing that I find humorous about people crying about negative campaigning is, would you rather Republicans vet their candidate in the Republican primary and ferret out the ones that are going to be controversial in the general election, or had you rather just ignore all the negative stuff with a candidate and allow Democrats to vet them like they did with Herschel Walker in the general election? Herschel Walker ran in the Republican primary.
A lot of that, I got to disagree with that on Herschel, because a lot of that was Republican led, and that came out in the primary. It was Republican led, and a lot of it was false information. And
I agree it was false. I think it was done wrong, but all I am saying, I'd rather Republicans vet our candidates than allow the Democrats to vet them in the general election and allow Democrats to take that seat.
Unfortunately,
it works.
I'm bringing Sally to Iowa with me. Sally, you really get this. You're coming to Iowa, Sally. January 26th. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Go ahead, Celestine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Listen, Debbie, her newsletter is widely received by a lot of people. Some folks may not say so, but they are happy for that information.
Thank you.
Now, I wish that we had a system in place to where we could properly vet candidates before they decide to go ahead and run for political office, because it would save us a lot of time. Because I am just simply tired of all these folks popping up wanting to run who have no chance of winning. Thirdly, in response to what's happening within the Republican Party, we have about 4 different factions. Each one is trying to out-patriot or out-Republican each other. And I'm simply tired of it. Close your mouth. Sit down. Who are you to tell me who I am? Worry about yourself. So we have a lot of these couch potatoes who are sitting up on their computers, sitting up here throwing stones at people, but I never see you on the ground. I never see you coming to say, I'm going to knock some doors, or I'm going to make some phone calls. But you can talk all doggone day about folks. So we have people who are actually saying what they're going to do and actually doing it. So I applaud those who were standing up and doing it. John, I agree with you. I wish we had ranked choice voting. I've been in Iowa. I've trained with those folks, and I believe it will work. Now there.
I've recruited a disciple. Hallelujah.
John.
All right, Celestine, based on that, you're now a permanent fixture on the Peach Crew for life. You get it. Very good. And I look, this whole negative thing, I'm with everybody on it. I get it's got to be done, but it's just, it blackens the soul. Look, I'll just say a personal story, right? 30 seconds, then I'm done. So everybody knows I have a lot of body art. So on my chest is a tattoo of the angel Raphael, which is the angel of goodness, friendship, and community. And every day when I shave without my shirt on, I got to stare at him in the mirror. And he's like saying to me, are you doing something good today? Is anything you're doing today any good? Think about that. So the problem with this whole negative thing is just, I don't know. It's just not healthy. It works.
But here's the other thing that works. Okay. Like when it comes to getting things done, when we as the grassroots or, now being on the state election board, somebody said something about, well, now's the time to get it done because it's campaign season. All these people running for office, now they're going to be more likely to help get things done because it's campaign season. The thing about it is that when you're negative and people are fighting off negative ads or negative attacks and things like that, it's not making the other person up their game. People need to up their game. They need to up their responsibility to the voters. They need to upgrade their thinking on what they need to deliver. And if there are negative campaign ads that they are fighting off, it's putting people on the defense, but they're not thinking of the higher level things that we need done as a country. And this is my opinion. Take it or leave it, whatever. But it also, like John, to your point, you just kind of get in a very ick state of mind. And I was just texting with my son. Today's the anniversary of his motorcycle accident that changed his life forever and my life forever. And, we were just talking about it. It's the same kind of day, an overcast day, and kind of just a heaviness and a negative thought. We need as much positivity and sunlight as we can get in this world. And I just, I want to hear from the candidates what they're going to do different. What is their reason for running? What is their passion? What is their game? Do better. And I just, it doesn't work for me.
It works for me.
Well, like I said, you do you, boo. We'll see, but it's just my thoughts and opinions on that.
And there's so much stuff going in today's world. And one thing I would like for us, when we get off the show and your listeners, please say a short prayer for the people in Iran that are fighting against this brutal regime. They are fighting for freedom and they are being massacred. Please keep the people of Iran in your prayers.
We've got a big, long prayer list, don't we? I mean, we've got the people in Iran, all the Christians in Nigeria that have
Yep.
been massacred and murdered. There's and I think that kind of goes to John's point too, Debbie, is that there's so much negativity in the world and so much attacking. We are sitting for now what is the freest country in the entire world, and we are so blessed to be here that bringing about more negativity, does that really help us? And you know,
got to call out evil.
Listen,
you do have to call out evil.
Let me say this. I would add to that there are people who are sitting up and they use Christianity as a weapon. They weaponize it. And so for those people, they need to understand what being a Christian is. And so oftentimes we see within the Republican Party itself, I want a lot of these people who are listening, practice what you doggone preach, okay? And understand what Christianity is and show unconditional love and kindness towards your brother and your sister. We can agree to disagree at the end of the day, but stop throwing your stones. Because if you say you are that Christian, show me.
Amen, Celestine. Preach it, sister.
Well, I can tell you one of my favorite scriptures in the New Testament is when Jesus threw out the money changers from the temple. So I thought that was one of my favorite portions of the Bible.
And he upended all the tables and
that's right.
Turned them all over.
Because they were in his house.
Darn right, man.
They were in his house.
It's a great segment. Love and cheer to all. I'm really with you, Debbie. I understand what you're doing. We were friends a long time, but Sally and Celestine, this constant negativity on our side, and it's just suffocating the movement. It's suffocating.
It is.
Really is. And then you look at and look, the people that are on the other side hate me. They hate me for pointing this out, and I don't really care because I'm gonna be 68. Who cares? They hate me because look, all they do is attack each other, and I call them the right-wing podcast crew. They're all a bunch of posers. They all make a ton of money off negativity. I mean, think about this. Your life and income is based on negativity, nastiness, and attacking other people, and that's the basis of your income. I mean, it just I don't know. Look, everybody does what they want. I thank the Lord that Ann and I never put the company in that position. We would never do that. But
hey, John, I have a question for you. I saw Vernon Jones the other day, and he must believe in ranked choice voting. I don't know whether he does or not, but what he's saying to everybody is, let me be your number two. Let me be your number two. So I would love to hear what is his reasoning for saying that? Does he think it's going to get into a runoff and he wants to be the number two? I don't know.
So I think he's talking about a runoff, but I think, Vernon understands enough about my point for ranked choice. Everybody looks at ranked choice voting and they look at it the wrong way. First of all, in a general election, no, 100% against, 1,000%. I think states should have the option in a primary or a nominating a situation because it stops the negativity amongst each other. Everybody looks at it as a manipulating way to get people elected. I look at it as a way to get rid of the negatives and to get people talking about what is positive for them. And then you can't attack the other guy because you don't want to upset their voters, because you're going to need a second choice. And one of the problems that we have is we nominate somebody and then 2/3 of the other people are pissed and 1/3 of them don't get involved because they're mad because their person got beat because of all the negative ads. And this is just reality. And I think it's an option. I'm not saying that it's right in every situation.
Well, we're going to close primaries anyway in Georgia.
We need to do
you got to do that. I mean, that is.
Yes.
I agree with
I mean, I don't know if what Burt Jones is doing, but the first bill he should get is to shut these primaries down. You can't let Democrats vote in your primary and meddle with your nominee, or vice versa.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and let me tell you, John,
there's a Senate candidate that encouraged Democrats to cross over and vote in the runoff for him against Jody Hice.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
because you could cross over and vote it.
Right,
That's
right.
how Republicans got rid of Cynthia McKinney, crossed
That's
over
right.
and all that. I believe in closing it. Unfortunately, there are some Republicans that win because they get Democrat vote. And, you know, in these local races, city council,
Well,
county.
that's a general. Anybody look in a general election, you want to get independents and Democrats. I get it, but if
I agree, but not the
you're going to
primary.
be if you're going to be a Republican nominee with a Republican line, you should be voted on by Republicans.
I agree.
I agree.
And you should have party affiliation. I mean, the thing we got going on here in Washington, D.C. is totally perverted. There's supposed to be one council seat that is not for a Democrat, supposed to be a Republican. So what happens is the seat comes open, a Democrat changes to an independent. The next day, runs as an independent, beats a Republican, and then caucuses with the Democrats. So the whole thing is a perverted joke.